Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on The Unseen, a scary movie starring R.J. Mitte as a law student who's haunted by something. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 11. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So his successful dad is kind of ruining his life. He wants to get out from under his shadow, be his own man kind of thing. And him being disabled kind of adds that other dimension. Like he kind of feels like he has to. So there's that element. And then he takes this job, I guess, at a law firm where they don't know him. And he's haunted by some kind of ghost or demon. Keeps seeing stuff. It escalates. Kill me. Until he finally figures it out, I'm guessing. And then saves the day. Although a lot of horrible things happen in between. The Unseen. Written by Jennifer A. Goodman, who's also in the cast. And also one of the producers. Directed by Vincent Shade. Vincent Shade. I'm Vincent Shade. Who's also one of the producers. So it looks fine. June 30th. Looks fine. I mean, it's a horror movie. I think him being disabled does add this extra dimension because it's like, I think parents of disabled kids worry more about them, and it makes the character more vulnerable in a horror movie, which is kind of what you want. So you've got this family tension, and he's not only disabled, but he feels like he has to outshine his dad, who's super famous or knows everybody in the law world, and he's got to make his own way. And then in doing that, he puts extra pressure on himself, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But when things start to get weird, he starts seeing things. His family looks at that as, oh, you took on too much, and now we're worried about you. And then that's even more of an issue, I think, with disabled kids, right? Because if your kid's disabled, you might worry about them even more, because it's like, well, it's not just that it's my kid and he's handicapped, and so maybe he's taking on too much. And but that's definitely a sore spot, I think, with people who are disabled, right? So it's interesting that the writers would incorporate that into the character. I think that's a good move, and I think it gives it a little extra something, for the character. And R.J. Mitte, I think that's how you say it. He's not bad. He's not a bad actor. I mean, he's kind of playing the same role, right? It's kind of the same guy. It's almost like Walter White Jr. graduated high school and went to law school, and he's just got a different dad. Different set of parents. But yeah, I mean, I could see this. I could see it. Would I go out of my way? I probably wouldn't go to the theater for it. I mean, it's a horror movie. They're everywhere. Maybe if I heard it was good. I think it does have some decent production value. I wouldn't be against going to the theater, but in some respects it's kind of standard. It's kind of a standard ghost story. So I would break it down. First act, he's going to college. Maybe he's in his final year. He's getting an internship. His dad could smooth the way, but he's got this tension with his dad and his parents, and he's like, no, I'm going to make my own way. And they're getting into fights. Seems to be a lot of tension there, actually. So he gets his own thing at a law firm that maybe is not known or not that reputable, and comes across stuff in their files that lead him to start seeing stuff. And at first, he chalks it all off to the pressure, because maybe he's put undue pressure on himself. He's desperate to sort of outshine his dad. Then his parents start to worry about him, but the visions get crazier and crazier until finally he starts to realize, man, there's something really going on here. This is in the second act, right? Second act, it's just getting crazier and crazier. He starts to investigate maybe something he shouldn't investigate. The law firm pushes back on him. Maybe his parents tell him to quit, but he still pursues it. Maybe he's going crazy. And then the third act, he has to confront this entity or prove who the real killer is. That to me feels like where this would go. He actually has to avenge the ghost who was murdered, the person who was murdered, and their ghost, and he exposes the real killer, and then he stops seeing the ghost. The ghost is put to rest, and he wins. Everybody wins. Now, you could go another way with it. I think it would be too dark, but that he's really gone crazy and he's seen this all in his head and he's actually, going to kill people over it. And that is a possibility, but that would be very dark. And I don't think the fans of R.J. Mitte, who remember him from Breaking Bad, want to see something that dark with a character like this. I think they would want to see him win. Solve the murder and save the day, even if it's a horror movie and it'll end a little dark. It won't end like super happy, but it'll end like, sort of like, well, we've solved the problem for now, kind of thing. Or maybe he does go crazy and he solves the murder or puts the ghost to rest, but then goes into an insane asylum. They don't really do that anymore, so I doubt that too. So I think it'll have like a relatively happy ending. I think it'll be a solid entry in sort of like a B movie category. It feels like more of a rental for me. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I probably wouldn't go out of my way to see it. Maybe I would see it in the theaters. It doesn't seem to be particularly action-packed or full of special effects. But I wouldn't mind seeing it in, on VOD. Theaters, if my friends all went to go, I wouldn't say no. But who does that anymore? Wants to sit through half an hour of previews and commercials just to see this movie? I mean, no offense. Let's see if there's a write-up here. A law student finds himself in a twisted web of murder and deceit brought on by a dark force from his past. Now, I wonder what it's from his past. So maybe he does die. Or maybe, things don't end too well for him. Maybe he ends up going to jail. Maybe he's exposed as the real murderer. Because it is a dark force from his past. So maybe he did something he doesn't remember? I don't know. Possibly. But I kind of doubt it. But then again, maybe they want to do that to show that, his acting range, for a guy who has disabilities, to do that would be kind of a victory, right? I mean, you don't really see that with it'd be kind of a first if he really went down that dark path. I mean, I'd be impressed if he tried it. I really would. And if you told me, yes, that's the plot of the movie, I would definitely go see it then, because you won't want to miss a first like that. But I kind of think, from a pure fan base thing, I don't think people would want to see that. I don't think he'd want his fans to get that association, because I think actors worry about that kind of stuff. Because seriously, if this turned out to be his biggest thing, since Breaking Bad, it could be tough for him to get other work because he'd be so strongly associated with the part. I mean, it is a worry for some actors. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. If you can find a more base take it. I'll be at Super Saturday this Saturday from 11 to 2 at least at the Atlantic Cape Community College in Mays Landing, New Jersey. Mays Landing again. It's a hot spot for me. I like it. It's almost down to the shore. I get to pass the Red Top Market and all kinds of cool stuff in South Jersey. Hope to see you there, and we'll see you